You see, there's the disadvantage of going live is that things like this happen and you have to just deal with it. I'm really sorry about that, but we're going to keep going. So we were talking about taking small steps, and I want to give you an example. So this one is about changing careers, right? So you've been thinking about changing, but the idea feels like, "Oh, I can't do this, right? Maybe you're worried about financial stability and stepping into a field where maybe you have absolutely no experience in. That could feel really daunting. Now, these concerns, of course, are valid, but what if your first step was something as simple as updating your resume? And even smaller than that, locating it on the drive first, right? That's the first thing. Where's my resume? Finding it. That's all that you need to do just as a first step, and then you take the next step, right? Just take the time to find it and then highlight your skills and achievements. That's the first step. And once that's done, you could take another small step, like researching job openings or reaching out to, someone in the field, someone that works in the field that you're curious about. So these are manageable actions. They're small, manageable actions, but they're really powerful because that's what keeps you moving forward, not backwards. Each step builds momentum. And every time you take action, no matter how small, you're proving to yourself that it's possible. Right? If you don't take action, you're going to stay stuck. So you have to take that next step. And of course, the more steps you take, the more confidence that you're going to gain. So we're going to look at another example. Now, if you've been dreaming of traveling, I'm a travel coach. I have to bring it up. I'm a travel agent too, so I have to bring it back. So you've been dreaming of traveling, but you feel held back by fear. So start small. Maybe your first step is researching destinations that get you all excited. Open up Google or open up Pinterest and explore photos of beautiful places. Sign up for my newsletter. Lots of great ideas there too. Next, maybe you want to plan a short weekend getaway somewhere nearby. So it's less intimidating than a big international trip, especially if you've never done that on your own, right? But it still helps you to gain confidence in traveling and planning as well. Whether you're going with a friend or by yourself, it builds that confidence. So when you accomplish that weekend trip, you want to celebrate that. Recognize that it's a victory, no matter how small it might seem to you. So small wins are worth celebrating because they show you that you're capable of taking action. That's what's important. Confidence doesn't just appear overnight. It's built over time through taking action, not giant leaps, but little tiny actions. That's all it takes to eventually feel more confident of doing something. So here's another example. I talked yesterday about approaching retirement, so I'm going to share that now. Maybe you're feeling anxious about what's next, and the idea of filling all that time can feel daunting. But you can start small. You could spend an hour writing ideas for how you'd like to spend your retirement. Allow yourself to dream of those hobbies you've always wanted to do, the trips you've always wanted to travel, maybe the volunteering that has been behind your mind here, and maybe a new part-time passion project, or maybe another part-time job. Then take a small step, like attending a workshop or talking to a retired friend for advice. That's what coaches are here for, by the way. And each step makes the big picture seem less overwhelming. And before you know it, you'll feel ready to embrace this new chapter. You'll even be excited about that, right? Woo! I can't wait. So here's one final example. And maybe you've been putting off a very difficult conversation. Maybe it's with a partner, maybe it's with a colleague, Maybe it's with a family member. And the thought of having that conversation feels too big, feels too scary. So start small. Maybe write down what you want to say. Practice it in front of a mirror. Practice it with a trusted friend. Visualize yourself saying it. I use visualization a lot. Now, these small steps will give you the clarity and the courage to move forward. And the next thing you know, the timing is just perfect. It always is. And you have the conversation with ease. And you kind of wonder why you didn't have it sooner. But it's all good. You did it and you celebrate that. And then you go, all right, now what's next? So taking that first small step often leads to another step and another step until the change doesn't feel so intimidating or overwhelming anymore. All right, so I want to review some of the prompts, right? If you're looking at the replay, go back to day one and complete these two prompts. So, day one prompts were: where in my life am I feeling stuck? Where in my life am I feeling stuck? So, go back to day one and review that. Review the video. Second question was: what fear might be holding me back? That's day one. Now, you might have to go back to day two, too. Day two, too. Day two's prompts were: what am I truly afraid of? What am I truly afraid of? What's beneath that fear? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of rejection? Is it the unknown, fear of the unknown? And if fear weren't holding me back, what would I do differently? So the first 2 days of this series were about uncovering fear, and today's is about taking action. So today's prompt is: think of a big change that you've been considering. That doesn't have to be a big change, just think of a change that you've been considering. And what's one small step that you could take today to move closer to that change? And how will you celebrate this? So, what's one small step that you could take today to move closer to that change that you want? So, maybe it's as simple as making a list, sending an email, setting time aside to reflect on your goals, right? That's it. That's it. Now, for me, I'm going to share another personal uh, goal that I had last January is when I decided that I needed to have an apartment to go back to if I wanted to come back to Canada from Mexico at any time, right? I sold my house in November 21 and I did the snowbird thing. And I bought a park model trailer in 2023 in Sudbury, but I had to leave in mid-October because that's when the park closes. That was fine with me in 23 because that's when I walked the Del Norte from Bilbao, Spain to Santiago de Compostela. And I went straight from Spain. Well, I took a cruise after the walk. So after the cruise, I went straight to Mexico after that. And that's when I thought I wanted to go back to Sudbury and I didn't want to have to ask a friend, can I stay there? So I thought I need to have an apartment in Canada to go back to. And my very first step was to send an email to Elliott Lake Retirement Living to book a call. So I came down to Canada for a few weeks because I was really missing my family just before Christmas last year. And I planned my visit for January 4th. I was leaving on the 12th, I think. And guess where I am today? Some of you know that. I'm not in Mexico. I'm in Elliott Lake, right? So small steps. Big changes can feel overwhelming. But when we break them down to the small, manageable steps, they become possible. And each small step builds momentum. And with each success, no matter how small, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of growth and you're capable of change. Next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, I don't even recognize who I am anymore. I don't. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about shifting your mindset, learning how to see fear differently so that you can keep moving forward even when it feels tough. So, gentle reminder, check out my guide, Embrace the Change, your guide to bold adventures and transformations. And you can check it out at lindagrobert.com/, embrace change. All together, embrace change. It's full of tools to help you take those first steps and, of course, to stay motivated. Thank you again for being here today. I think what I'll do tomorrow is I'll just go with my laptop camera. I'm not going to rely on my Logitech because I don't like that. So thanks again for being here, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow as we continue this series together. Have a great day and have a great New Year's as well. New year, new you. New year, new you. That's what it's about. I'm going to close this stream. I'm looking at my second screen here to do that. There you go.